which is wonderful for Kyle to play football. So they made fun of us the first time you've been hit in about 48 months. So good. It's great. I mean, I'm really happy for him just to be able to experience those things, and he's going to learn how to be a football player again. It's been a long road for him, so it's good.
What about Jimmy Hall?
It's good.
Is he looking good so far?
Yeah, I think all those young guys, there's flashes. That's positive. That's what we got to get them to play at consistently. But there's not enough consistency yet, just because we've only been going at this for a handful of practices, and with the break, this is kind of like the second starting week. So it's our job. We just got to keep working to get those flashes to become consistent execution. And if we were there right now, I'd be encouraged, but I'd wonder how much better we can get. I think we can get a lot better in that sense of area.
Do you notice any difference in Kane's demeanor and the way he goes about leading now that he's the man and he's gone?
I've noticed that with every one of our quarterbacks as kind of the incumbent or the previous quarterback matriculates out of the program. There's just that next step that happens. And, Kane has always had, I think, a belief system about himself. There's been confidence. He believes in his ability. But he's always been very, very respectful of Dan. Now that Dan has matriculated out of the program, I mean, he looks at it like it's his role to be that guy. And he should be, and he is. What I like about Trevor now is he's coming on, and I'm seeing the things that I saw out of Kane a year ago in Trevor. So that's very, very encouraging. Those two guys I think are really doing well, and Zach's learning. Zach's a freshman quarterback.
How important is it for the team that Kane assumes that role now and takes over, makes that step?
Well, it was happening last year from a standpoint when he got thrust into the starting role. It happened. He assumed it. He just was very respectful of Dan. If that makes sense. If you were to poll our entire football team and say, do you have 100% confidence and belief that Kane Coulter can lead us to a Rose Bowl championship? It would be 100% yes. So he's got that kind of respect. That natural progression just happens. Like it happened when, CJ took over, Mike took over, Danny took over, now Kane. Like I said, I really like where Zach is at as a true freshman. He's coming on. Trev's had a good start.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Wisconsin will have another transfer coming
free
in
agency?
this year. Another free agent. Do you have any issue with that rule?
Well, I think if I were Brett, I'd do the same thing.
Right.
So I have no problem with that. I mean, the rules are the rules. We have some things that are they don't make a lot of sense. That's one of those rules that doesn't make a lot of sense. But I don't fault Brett at all. I would do the same thing. I'm actually going to see him tonight at the Wisconsin High School Coaches Clinic, and I'll congratulate him again on his free agent pickup.
Do you think, is that a rule that you guys will discuss as coaches?
The more I do this, Teddy, I'm not quite sure how many rules we discuss matter as coaches.
Yeah.
I'll be brutally honest. We discuss a lot of things and they die. They go somewhere and they die. I think it's great for the young man because if it didn't work, he gets another opportunity. It just seems to happen with quarterbacks more than any other position.
Right.
And they've got Brett and his staff did a wonderful job last year, and obviously it's a no-brainer.
I think Skip asked you the other day about defensive communication. She had a camera sort of helping the DBs. Is there a way to explain?
Yeah, we just put a camera on the boundary to be able to pick up the audio, pre-snap audio, and then shortly after the ball was snapped, the audio to hear the communication that was going on. So it was good. It was kind of like these guys that are trying to sell helmet cameras though for quarterbacks. It's like it's great to teach off of when it's going all over the place. Like crap doesn't work. It worked for a little bit to prove the point, but after about 6 seconds, or I should say 2 seconds, it was really hard to hear anything. These guys were yelling pass and ball, things of that nature. But it proved the point of the value of communication. We're in a very controlled environment here. It's pretty sterile. When we get out in the arena, it's a whole different animal, and that's what we're trying to drive home to the guys.
Was that just on Monday that you experimented with that?
No, we did that the first week.
Okay,
we did that
first
week.
okay. And then could you also hear how they were communicating? Or
when we watched the tape, we were able to show it to them.
Okay, so that's the idea. So when you break it down later, you can, okay.
Kane, while we're on that, Bus mentioned that you had team building communication drills during the off season.
Yeah, we did a bunch of stuff, and Jay Hooten and I, and our whole staff. We sat down and just identify a problem. You got to create a solution and a plan. So,
What was the details of that?
hi, Skip. Hi, Pat. From that elementary to, we would give 5, 6 guys what the exercise was going to be, and they had to go communicate to the rest of the group. And they'd come out in the indoor here, and we'd have things set up, and they had to go execute it. And they were either successful or a failure based on what was told to them and how they needed to do it. So just a lot of team building stuff from that side. And just being very critical of, you're the leader, you got it today, and then mixing it up every day to prove there's just a significance how every little detail matters. So it was good. Yeah, I thought it was productive, and we're seeing the fruits of that labor a little bit. That's going to be ongoing.
Kane talked about we might see a bit more option this year because he thinks he's more of a runner than Dan was a little bit. I mean, are there any offensive changes you've been doing to sort of around Kane that you didn't use around Dan?
Sure. I mean, we're going to play to our guys' strengths. So, obviously, we've had option in our offense. But we put the eye bone in, and we're going to run, triple option every play. So that's what we're
Exciting.
excited to be us. We spent our whole offseason with Georgia Tech.
What progress have you seen from Trevor that's been so encouraging in the spring?
He's just growing, I mean, he's in the mix now. Last couple of years, he's more the red shirt guy and the guy watching and, kind of being the guy in the bullpen. But if we got to him, all right. Last year, when all of a sudden he got thrust into some action when Danny was out early, I think that sweet taste of experience really motivated him. He did a great job in the winter. You could see his physique is completely different than when he showed up here as a pencil neck as a freshman. So he looks so much better. He's much more fluid running, mechanically using his lower body so much more when he throws the ball. He's always had a great arm, but now to see him use his lower body to me is what really is helping that growth. And leadership-wise, he's just gaining more confidence. So when he gets more confidence, he's willing to step out a little bit, be the bell cow, and have guys follow your lead, and he's gaining on that. He's doing a good job.
Any defensive guys impress you either this week or in the first week?
Yeah, I like the job that Tyler Scott has been doing.
Right.
And Brian Arnfeld, those two guys inside are more older guys in the D-line, and they've done a nice job. The other guys are learning, but those two guys have been consistent. The 3 guys that are in that kind of pseudo-first group with Bus and Chi-Chi and Colin, I like what they've been doing. Move Colin into Will, so he's gotten a lot of learning experiences right now. And then I like the job that Ibrahim has been doing. So that next group is going through things and experiencing some things and some other guys that, number one, it's competition. So there's some really good things happening making plays, and then there's some other guys that are getting torched.
Yep.
Those are all productive learning experiences. And the guy that makes a big play, I don't know, like Nick had an interception today. We go back and watch the tape as we watch the session. How does he respond the next few plays? And then maybe, somebody got beat on a post route. Did they come back? Did they pout? Things of that nature. They respond to it. So, from those little details, the technique and the fundamental, are we being consistent and more consistent? So, we're going to challenge them. We got a damn good receiving core.
Yeah.
We got a damn good receiving core. So they're getting challenged every day.
Nick's got a good chance to be a starting quarterback.
Sure. Any one of those guys does right now. Yeah. I mean, it's open competition, and those guys are competing their butts off.
Thank you.